So let me tell you a story. You know, I'm more a equity investor than a mutual fund investor. So sometime in 2012, I think, yeah, 2012, 13, I saw a share go up from 80 to 240 rupees, right? And then I was talking to my broker and I said 220 looks like a good price. You know how it is, right? When you see the price, you want it slightly lower. I should have bought it at 80, maybe yes, but at that time it was not in my radar at all. So it was not in my radar at 160, but at 230, 240, I mean 240, I think. It was on my radar, and my broker and I sat, we discussed, and we said 220 or 217 or 218 is a good price, and but it never came down to that price. It came down, I think, to 222 or things like that. And so at last I bit the bullet and bought it at 235 rupees. And as is wont, markets did badly, and the markets came down, and forget what happened to the market. This share price came down to 175. Having bought at 235, I saw it come down to 175, and I thought it was a good buy at 175, because if it was a good buy at 235, it has to be a good buy at 175. So again I contemplated, and I was wondering whether to average, and then reading all the books, I knew that averaging is not a very sensible thing to do, but I still went ahead. I bought it at 175, I bought it 190, and I bought it 210. So my average price had come down to about 200, and that was not bad. And I think it was 2013, I think it was 2013. But I bought it, and then I watched it fall, I watched it go up, I watched everything, but I did not have a problem, because my average cost was 200 and I was getting dividends, so I was sticking to it. Today, 9 years later, it's quoting at a price of 2000, right? So it's a 10 bagger in 9 years, which is nothing sensational or great, but to me it was a good investment. I've got dividends on the meanwhile. Yes, I may have paid some demat charges, but which I would have paid anyway. So there are no cost of holding. So I'm getting a decent dividend yield now. Even the share price has gone up, plus I get a dividend yield, which is good, because the face value, I mean the value at which I bought was much lower. It is 1/10 of today's price. So I'm getting dividend yield. I've got very good appreciation. Could I have bought all my shares at 173? Of course. Could I have bought it at 80? Of course. Did I buy it at 80? No. Did I buy it at 173? No. So I missed the super best time. I missed the best time. I missed the averaging from 80 to 240. I missed all that. I still made money. I still got some things right? So the question is, just be in the market and stay invested. This reminds me of a story. A professor of pottery asks this class that he divides his class into two parts. Says, here I'm going to judge you guys by how many pots you make, and I'm going to judge this class by what good quality they make, right? So one was to be judged on quantity, one was to be judged on quality, saying I will give you marks for the following things: how good it looks and how good is the finish, etc., etc. for one class. And other class we said, no, nothing doing, whatever you do is fine, just make enough number of pots. So the second group made enough number of pots, and made a lot of pots rather, okay. And the first group was trying to design the best pot. What happened was, the second group, or the second group which was making many pots, had made the pots, had learned, had perfected, and made very good pots towards the end, whereas the first group had not made that many pots. It had not learned, it had made mistakes, and it did not make very good pots. So, you know, I also give this example of Anil Kumble. Those of you who are interested in cricket would know that Anil Kumble was also an ex-Indian captain. He was a great bowler, and he took a lot of wickets, right? So I think he took about 617 wickets, and I think he bowled about 40,850 balls. So the argument as a smart investor should be, Why did he bowl so many balls? He should have bowled only 619 balls and he would have got those 619 wickets, right? It doesn't work that way. Look at the number of balls that Rahul Dravid has faced and the number of runs that he has scored. Obviously, he has faced the highest number of balls ever in Test cricket. That's his record. I don't think anybody is going to touch it because we are not playing enough Test cricket. You have to play very many balls to get some market timing happening, right? You cannot always say, oh, I will hit only the best shots, I will hit only fours, I will hit only sixes. No, you go stand in the crease and you start batting. When you face very many balls, there will be sixes, there will be fours, all those things will happen, but you have to be at the crease and spend enough time. So as an investor, it is important that you come into the market, you start investing without worrying that, oh, will US go into a recession, will gold prices go up, will metal prices go up, what will happen to China? You can keep asking these questions for the rest of your life. That you keep doing. Don't connect the two. Make your investments today. It doesn't matter if the market comes down. Like I said, I bought it at 235 and watched it go to 173 the next day. Luckily, I was sure about the investment, so I stayed on. I added more and I added a lot right from the journey from 200 to 2000. It doesn't really matter if you have already bought, right? So if you have bought, that's great. You can buy more. As simple as that. Make sure that your other parameters are in good shape. That means your total portfolio exposure, overexposure to one script. Consider all that. But still, buying more when the market goes down is not a bad thing to do. Buying more when the market goes up is also not a bad thing to do. Because if you bought a share at 200 rupees and your target is 2000, then it doesn't matter whether you buy more at 800 or 900 or 1500. Doesn't really matter. Just keep adding, right? So just keep buying can work in some scripts. I'm talking this completely from a hindsight bias. This has already moved from 200 to 2000. So I'm saying that if it had moved from 200 to 20, I would have lost money. So you have to be alert. You have to say, okay, if it falls so much, I would use it as a buying opportunity. However, if it falls so much, I'll just sell out because there is some signal from the market which I'm unable to understand. If I'm unable to understand, I will sell. I don't have an issue with that. So don't worry too much about perfect timing, because if you bought during the worst times, you made more money. So don't wait for the market to fall 10%, market to fall 5%. Maybe those things will happen. But anyway, you're putting only a small amount, right? Whatever be the amount, whether it is 1000, 2000, 10,000, 5,000, that is the small amount is what you're putting. So what you've already put last month is all, it's showing you there, right? It's gone up or gone down. But being able to do that consistently without worrying about what others will say and what will happen is what really creates wealth. Thank you.